Just wanted to show you guys the monotonous part of patterning a Damascus billet. I'm working on this one here, and I'm going through and doing some partial holes. It's really rough on the cobalt bits, but without them, you just couldn't do this. It's high carbon steel. I did anneal it, which makes it more workable. Nonetheless, it's a lot of work. But taking the little extra time now really produces a beautiful raindrop pattern in the Damascus after I etch it once I've done my knife. So once I'm done getting all these holes drilled the way I like them, and I say holes loosely, but they're not holes, they're just partial holes. None of them go through. I'll take this back and heat it up and take it to the press, compress it more until all of the steel layers that are deeper in push up and it's flat again. And so when you look at it before I make it into a knife, it's just going to look like a bar of steel. Like nothing, won't look like anything in particular. But after I get this forged out into a knife and finished and completed actually, I'll etch it in ferric chloride, and everywhere I've done these partial holes here, kind of a ripple looking raindrop effect will develop. So as you can see, I'm doing, I don't know, a couple hundred of these on each side, and they'll spread out some because as I squeeze this, the steel kind of moves like clay. Picked up some grease somewhere. The steel kind of works like clay, so it's going to elongate and thicken as far as wider, yet the billet's going to get skinnier. Right now I'm, about a half an inch, so roughly I'm going to half this. I'll take it down to about a 1/4 inch, which is going to make me end up with probably a 16-inch billet, maybe by about 2.5 inches. So it'll make a really nice knife. So, but in the process of doing that, you'll see these, how close these raindrops are now. They'll spread out a little bit, but it's an amazing contrast it will make on the billet. It's really, it's worth the extra effort now. Some people will do another thing instead of this. A quicker thing is you could take a grinder and just make a pattern. In fact, I've made letters, numbers out of grinding, and then when you recompress it in the forge and draw it out, you'll actually get those letters or numbers to come out after you etch, and it's a really cool special effect. So anyhow, keep working on this for a little bit more, and you'll get the idea. This part is monotonous, but the extra effort here really pays off in the end. It's what makes a cool knife. And you don't even have to be too concerned about how deep you go. I mean, you don't want to go too deep, but once you're flattening it, you just go until all of the dimples are gone. And you've gone enough. You could squeeze it more if you want to make a longer piece of steel. But that's really all there is to this. It's not a technical thing. It's just some people don't take the time. If I just made a knife out of this right now, it would have a nice random pattern. But why not take, if you've gone through all this effort to make a piece of Damascus steel, why not take the extra time to pattern it the way you like? And in a sense, this will still be a random pattern. It will just have raindrops that I've created in it, which really, it's a striking effect that they make. If you look back in my albums on Facebook, you'll see some of the knives I've made with the raindrop pattern. It's just such a cool look to it. So, anyhow, I guess I'll turn off the video. This will get boring for you. I got a ways to go still. So I'll show you later. Alright, so this is just a follow-up to the last video I had done showing me working on the drill press. So I finished the actual boring part now of patterning this billet, which is about 9 inches by 2.5, 3 inches here. It's a 1/2 inch thickish now. Both sides are drilled into. I'm going to heat up the forge here, get the steel back up to temperature, press it to make the inner layers of the steel come up and fill these voids all here, each side. So when I get done, it'll just look like a flat piece of steel. Now, in the process of doing this, it's like a 1/2 inch thick now. I'll take it down to 1/4 or so. So it's going to get longer, maybe a little wider, and then skinnier. And all of these pieces, or all of these dimples, will go away. You won't see them until the end product, then when I etch it out. So that's how it works. Thank you. Okay, this is a wrap up here. This is my final product here. I can make a knife out of now. I'll take it into the forge hopefully tomorrow. So this is 60 layers of 1084, 1085, and 15N20. I'll come in here a little bit. You can see a little bit of like the residual holes where I drilled. This will have a really neat raindrop pattern. The pattern will give you kind of, if you look right here on this one, see if I can get this to focus here. See the little circles? That's the raindrop pattern I'm referencing, okay? So anyhow, that's all for this. I'm going to get these ready to hopefully take to the forge tomorrow or the next day, and we'll give you some updates from there. All right, this final piece is about, I think, 13 inches long, almost 3 inches wide, and I took it down to 1/4 thereabouts. So should make a nice size knife. All right, more to come.